All right, I'm here to answer a couple questions you may have had about the Boost Box.
All right, one of the first questions I keep hearing is how much does this thing weigh? It's freaking huge.
Well, glad you asked. This thing weighs 43 pounds.
Wow, that's pretty light. Now, if I don't have a Mercedes Sprinter and I don't have a starboard rack, can I still mount the Boost Box on the back of my van?
Absolutely. So the way the Boost Box works is it mounts onto any universal rack that goes onto the rear. Doesn't have to be a Sprinter. We've had these mounted on truck campers, ProMasters, Transits, the works. So anything you got, if you have a rack that mounts onto the back of the van or vehicle, you can pop the Boost Box on.
Now, what about if I have like a bunch of wet stuff in here? Like, where does all that water go if I put snowboards and wetsuits inside this thing?
Beautiful thing about this is we built the Boost Box with drain holes in the back. So it's actually designed, has hangers up there, specifically thought to put your wet snow jackets, your wetsuits, let them drip dry. The Boost Box is the perfect place to put all the wet, sandy gear that you don't want in your living space in the back of the van.
Well, it sounds like you got an answer for everything, but what's the capacity on the Boost Box?
All right, so that one's a little bit more interesting to answer. So the limitation is not the box itself, it's actually what you're mounting the box onto. So if you pair the Boost Box with the Sandy Van starboard or port rack, you're gonna have 150 pounds rating for the starboard rack. And if you put that on the port rack, it's gonna be 100 pounds. If you pair that with another company's rear rack, that's gonna be the limiting factor. So it really depends.